Well, I'm back doing another response video to LostNUnbound's best player for each team of all time. This is the second response video I'm doing on LostNUnbound once again. In this video, he ranks the best player of all time for all of the 30 NBA teams. Some were accurate, everything else grind my gears a bit. Like, what the heck? Anyways, here's the video as I respond.
Russell Westbrook is the best player on the Thunder. But is Kevin Durant the best Thunder player of all time? Steph Curry is the best player on the Warriors. But is Wilt Chamberlain the best Warrior of all time? What about the Lakers? Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. Who's their best player of all time? Let's begin with number 30. Wait. If you're not subscribed, you're crazy! Make sure you hit that big red subscribe button. We're trying to hit 1.6 million today. Also hit that notification bell to join Noti Gang. So every time I upload a fire video, you're not gonna miss it. Number 30, Memphis Grizzlies. Marc Gasol. There's not much competition because they've never had a superstar. His only competition is his brother, but Pau Gasol's best seasons were with the Lakers. So we're going with Mark.
Yes, Pau Gasol had a better career in LA than he did in Memphis, but he has some solid seasons with the Grizzlies as the main guy. Just saying. But I do agree that Marc Gasol is the greatest Grizzly player of all time, since he had a longer longevity in Memphis than Pau, and he had more playoff success than Pau did, since Pau Gasol and the Grizzlies always lost in the first round to better teams.
Washington Wizards. John Wall or Wes Unseld. Who? 16 points and 17 rebounds a game. That's who. But we're going with John Wall. He's one of the best point guards in the league.
So he has John Wall and Wes Unseld as the two candidates for best player in Wizards history. It really should be Elvin Hayes versus Wes Unseld, and Elvin Hayes is the greatest Wizard of all time. How could he forget about Elvin Hayes? I find it disrespectful towards Elvin Hayes. This is why I question if he knows the history of the NBA. John Wall's cool, but Elvin Hayes is the greatest Wizard of all time.
Toronto Raptors. Oh, that's easy. Vince Carter. Portland Trail. Wait. I almost forgot about Kawhi Leonard. One of the best players in the league this season. But Greg, he's only been on the Raptors for 1 year. You know what? You're right. I think in 5 years, the answer will be Kawhi, but it's way too early to call him the best Raptor of all time. We're going to give it to Vince Carter.
Well, the joke's on you, Greg, since there won't be 5 years for Kawhi in Toronto, since he's with the Clippers now. I do agree Vince Carter is the greatest Raptor of all time. I mean, he put Toronto on the map, for crying out loud. Now, I know some people probably say DeMar DeRozan because DeRozan played longer in Toronto than Vince, and his loyalty to Toronto, and he, along with Kyle Lowry and Dwayne Casey, helped the Raptors win 50 or more games, and they got to the Eastern Conference Finals once. But hey, the Raptors failed to win a championship, and they never got to the finals with DeMar DeRozan. Plus, Vince Carter's statistics shows that he's a better player in Toronto than DeMar DeRozan was in Toronto.
Portland Trailblazers. This is a tough one. It is between Damian Lillard, Dame Dollar, or Clyde the Glide Drexler. Damian Lillard is one of the best scorers in the league, but Clyde Drexler was a 10-time All-Star with the Blazers. So as much as I love Dame Dollar, the answer is Clyde Drexler.
Nothing against Damian Lillard, but it really comes down to Clyde Drexler and Bill Walton. How could he forget Bill Walton? Bill Walton is the reason why they won their first and only championship in franchise history. But I agree, Clyde Drexler is the greatest Blazer of all time.
Charlotte Hornets. Oh, they have so many amazing players to choose from. Where do I pick? Oh wait, no. Kemba Walker is literally their only superstar in franchise history. The only other competition is Gerald Wallace, and he's never averaged 20 points a game.
Stop. Kemba nor Gerald Wallace should be in the conversation. Kemba is not the only star in Hornets history. Have you forgotten Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson? That's your competition for Charlotte. I'll put these two ahead of Kemba. Also, Kemba is not a superstar. He's an all-star caliber player.
Los Angeles Clippers! It's between CP3 and Balake Blake Griffin. You might say, Greg, CP3's had the better career. It's obviously him. But Chris Paul's best seasons were with the Hornets.
Absolutely not. Bob McAdoo is the greatest Clipper of all time. He was an MVP, a 3-time scoring champion with the Buffalo Braves before they were the Clippers. Also, why hasn't the Clippers retired his jersey already? He's 67 and needs his jersey retired stat.
So if I told you Chris Paul was the best player in Clippers history, I would be lying! Do I look like a liar?
You look like a doofus. Psych, just kidding. No offense, but you look like a liar and you are a liar.
Denver Nuggets! This one is crazy. It's between Carmelo Anthony or Nikola Jokic. When Melo was in Denver, he was an MVP candidate. But Nikola Jokic is one of the best centers in the league today. I'm gonna go with... Oh, wait a second. Neither of them. Because the answer is Alex English. One of the most underrated players in NBA history. Alex English put up 30 points a game in a season. He didn't even shoot threes. How do you score 30 points a game without threes?
I think it's too soon to have Nikola in the competition. It should be David Thompson, Alex English, and Carmelo. I say David Thompson is the greatest Nugget of all time.
Indiana Pacers. Is it Reggie Miller, Paul George, or Victor Oladipo? In 5 years, it might be Oladipo, but for right now, it's between Paul George and Reggie Miller. To be honest, right now, I think Paul George is the better player, but we're talking about Indiana. So we're gonna go with Reggie Miller.
There's no competition since Reggie Miller is easily the greatest Pacer in team history. He spent his entire 18-year career with the team, making the finals once. It's not Paul George. It's certainly not Oladipo since he's been a Pacer for 2 seasons now.
Atlanta Hawks. Dominique Wilkins. Well, actually, it's not saying much because the Hawks don't have that many good players in their history.
The disrespect again. Dude, Bob Pettit, Pete Maravich, you can't forget about them. Trae Young just finished his rookie season. He should not be included.
So Atlanta, I know I get you guys mad a lot. I'm sorry.
I think a lot of people will hate you for this video.
Brooklyn Nets. D'Angelo Russell. I'm kidding. A lot of people might say it should be Julius Erving, but Irving's best seasons were with the Hawks, not with the Nets. We're going with another point guard, and his name is Jason Kidd.
Since when did Dr. J play for the Hawks? He obviously meant the 76ers. Julius Erving is the greatest net of all time. Greg said his best years were with the 76ers. His best years were with both the Nets and 76ers. I love Jason Kidd, but I don't think he's the greatest net of all time.
New Orleans Pelicans. Uh-oh, this one is going to be controversial. It's between Anthony Davis, one of the best players in the league right now, or Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul was the most impactful player for the Pelicans, but Anthony Davis is the best player. He's putting up some numbers that we haven't seen from a big man since Wilt Chamberlain. So next season when Anthony Davis is on the Lakers or whatever team, maybe the answer will change. But for right now, it's Anthony Davis.
I say CP3 is the greatest Hornets Pelican of all time.
Orlando Magic. Oh, it's obviously Shaquille O'Neal, right? Actually, Shaq's best seasons were with the Lakers. He was only with Orlando for 4 years. So even though Shaq is a Hall of Famer and he's the better player, prime Dwight Howard with the Orlando Magic is one of the best big men that have ever touched a basketball. He was an MVP candidate, an All-NBA first team, Defensive Player of the Year. I'm sorry, but it's just not Shaquille O'Neal. The answer is Dwight Howard. Thank you.
Do not drop the mic. Shaq became a better player with the Lakers, yes. His best years were with the Lakers too. But just because he only played 4 seasons compared to Dwight playing 4 more seasons longer than Shaq in Orlando, doesn't mean he can't be the greatest Magic of all time. Shaq was a better player in Orlando than Dwight. Shaq was a better scorer, better passer, better shot blocker, more dominant player. Shaq won Rookie of the Year, averaging 23.4 points per game, 13.9 rebounds per game, 1.9 assists per game, 3.5 blocks per game. Dwight didn't even win Rookie of the Year since he finished third. Who won Rookie of the Year? Emeka Okafor. Heck, Dwight didn't even finish second. Ben Gordon came in second over Dwight Howard since Dwight only averaged 12 points per game. Not to mention, Shaq along with Penny Hardaway led the Magic to the NBA Finals in his third NBA season. Dwight, on the other hand, it took him until his fifth season to lead the Magic to the Finals. And remember, if Kevin Garnett was healthy and was playing in the 2009 playoffs, the Magic wouldn't have gotten to the NBA Finals. The Magic just got lucky and was fortunate to beat a non-list Kevin Garnett Celtics team, and they were capable of beating that Cavaliers team. Dwight Howard and the Magic just got lucky. All right? If Kevin Garnett was healthy, the Celtics would have beaten the Magic. And we all know that the Celtics would have beaten that Cavaliers team. Because when the big three of Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen hooked up in Boston, and LeBron was still in Cleveland, LeBron could not get past those guys. It's facts.
Oklahoma City Thunder. Uh-oh, is it Russell Westbrook or is it Kevin Durant? Here's the deal. Kevin Durant right now is playing better than Westbrook, fine. But we're talking about their seasons with the Thunder. So what was more impressive? Kevin Durant's MVP season, where he averaged 32 points a game, or Russell Westbrook's MVP season, where he averaged a triple-double? You might say I'm being biased, but I'm not. I'm sorry, but Westbrook is the best Thunder player of all time.
Russell Westbrook is not the greatest Sonic Thunder of all time. It's amazing how he added Chris Paul as competition, since Chris Paul was in New Orleans, but they were the Hornets until they were the Pelicans. He didn't even bother mentioning that the Sonics and the Thunder are still the same team. They're still part of the history. They just have a different name and location. Anyways, if he would have included the Sonics, Gary Payton is the greatest Sonic Thunder of all time.
Phoenix Suns. We got Steve Nash, Charles Barkley, or Devin Booker. Devin Booker scored more points a game than either of them, but it's too early. It's way too early. Let's take him out.
70 points in the regular season doesn't mean jack squat. Plus, the guy has not seen the playoffs. Okay? Don't do that. Don't ask Devin Booker.
Charles Barkley won an MVP, but you know what he didn't do? He never won a title. Steve Nash literally changed basketball forever with his offense. When everybody was playing slow offense, he was fast-paced. And how could somebody win 2 MVPs and change basketball forever and not be the best player of all time for the Suns? Come on, it's obviously Steve Nash.
Steve Nash didn't win a title either, so what's your point? He said it's obviously like it's a no-brainer. Seriously? Listen, Charles Barkley is the greatest Phoenix Sun of all time. Okay? I mean, at least he led his team to the finals. Steve Nash and his Suns never got to the NBA Finals, especially when they had a head coach in Mike D'Antoni who doesn't preach defense. He's all about the offense. They never got into the NBA Finals. Even when they were close, they could never get past the Spurs for whatever reason. And then there was the one year when they didn't have an Amari Stoudemire where they lost to the Dallas Mavericks in 2006. So at least Barkley got his team to the finals. Sure, Steve Nash won more MVPs and played longer in Phoenix than Charles. But at least Barkley was successful in his 4 seasons in Phoenix, where he got his team to the finals in his first year in Phoenix.
Houston Rockets. Oh, this is gonna get some people mad. Okay, our options are Hakeem Olajuwon and James Harden. Greg, how dare you compare Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon to James Harden? James Harden is averaging 36 points a game this season. When we look back, people are going to be talking about James Harden's 2019 season. Hakeem Olajuwon won 1 MVP and is one of the best defensive players ever. It sounds pretty even so far. What's the decision maker? If James Harden wins MVP this year, that would be 2 MVPs in 2 seasons, more than Hakeem's whole career. Call me crazy, but I'm going with James Harden.
Is he on crack? This is whack. No competition, and it's Hakeem Olajuwon. It's not even close. I mean, the man led his team to 2 titles. Harden hasn't even made the finals as a Rocket. Hakeem needs to dream shake you for that. Call me when Harden makes the finals and wins a championship.
Philadelphia 76ers. This is one of the hardest ones in the whole video. Allen Iverson, Julius Erving, or Joel Embiid? Oh yeah, I put Embiid in there, and now we're gonna take him out.
Embiid shouldn't be in a discussion in the first place.
Julius Erving won 4 MVPs. Allen Iverson is probably the best player in NBA history to not win a title. Julius Erving, you got my respect, but the answer is Allen Iverson.
Hello? Wilt Chamberlain? I say Wilt Chamberlain is the greatest 76er of all time.
Detroit Pistons. Uh-oh, is it Isaiah Thomas? No, not that Isaiah Thomas. This Isaiah Thomas or Blake Griffin. I already said Blake Griffin was the best player in Clippers history, but is he the best player in Detroit history too? No.
Blake Griffin should not be in the discussion, Greg.
San Antonio Spurs. Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, or Tim Duncan. Kawhi Leonard wasn't in his prime yet. He's in his prime now in Toronto, so take out Kawhi. Tony Parker, Hall of Famer, but get him out of here because Tim Duncan might be the best power forward of all time.
It should be Tim Duncan, David Robinson, and George Gervin, not Kawhi and Parker.
Los Angeles Lakers. The hardest decision in the whole video. Kobe Bryant, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, or LeBron James. I'm just gonna save you guys time. The answer is LeBron James.
LeBron shouldn't be there. He's only played 1 season and did not make the playoffs.
Psych! Oh, I just got so many of you mad. I'm kidding. It's obviously not LeBron. He's not in his prime right now. It's between Kobe Bryant, Wilt Chamberlain, and Magic Johnson. Wilt Chamberlain's best seasons were with the Warriors, not the Lakers. So let's take out Wilt. Magic Johnson is one of the most complete players ever. But let's look at Kobe. 18-time All-Star, 5-time champion, an MVP. And you want to tell me that player isn't the best? Nope. Kobe Bryant is the best NBA player from the Lakers of all time.
I say Magic.
Milwaukee Bucks. Oscar Robertson led them to their only title. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
The greatest guy right here alive, man.
You know I love you, bro. It's a tough choice because Giannis won MVPs and Oscar won a title. But the answer is neither. The real answer is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He won 6 MVPs, bro. It's gotta be Kareem.
It's no competition. It's Kareem for sure.
Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James. The only other competitor would be Kyrie Irving, and even though Kyrie can defy gravity, it's still LeBron James.
LeBron has no competition for the Cavs. Anyways, this has been my response video to another video from LostNUnbound. Again, he seems to lack his wrong facts for whatever reason. And like I said, I still question his NBA history. So many wrong errors again and wrong facts and just certain crap he said. It just was ridiculous and it just didn't make any sense and it just pissed me off. Like I said, he seems like a nice guy and his channel, I'm guessing, is obviously doing great. Good for him. But it would be nice if he could just slow his roll and not have bad errors with his videos and learn a little bit more of his NBA history before he does videos like this. I'm just saying, this is just me giving him some helpful advice. He can take it or leave it. Anyways, that's it. Later.